The Superpowers of the Soul channel is brought to you by Superpower Experts. Visit superpowerexperts.com to unlock your superpowers today.
You're listening to Superpowers of the Soul with Tonya Dawn Rackler and the Superpower Experts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Superpowers of the Soul. I've got a big old grin on my face. I am so excited to share this episode with you, this time, this space, this moment, this yumminess, all of that good stuff. I'm Tonya, and I'm here today with you talking about what's happening next with Superpowers of the Soul. And so we're really, really excited to announce that Superpowers of the Soul can be found on all the major platforms. It's a channel. And so many of you have expressed interest in having a show on the Superpowers of the Soul channel. And so now you can do that. You can go on superpowerexperts.com and just click on the chat feature and let us know you'd love to host a show on this channel. We would love to have you get some of that traction that we're getting thanks to you all and the loyalty and the love that you've poured into us. We've been able to pour into so many others. And so thank you. We don't take that lightly. And we're announcing a new host of this show. And this is such a special moment for us as an organization and also in this kind of divine connection space, because one of the things we endeavor to do in all of the superpower companies is to make sure that we're always creating really beautiful, divinely inspired, divinely guided playgrounds where others can then step in and create them differently and decorate them differently and light them up differently, because we truly believe in synergistic collaboration and what happens when we come together in spaces of love and in recognizing that the energy between all of us really truly is what's actually creating. We are nothing without relationship with each other, finding the divine in each other, and it truly creates magic. And our new host is nothing short of magical. She is brilliant and beautiful and such a divine light. And we're so honored to have her as part of our community. And you want to talk about somebody who willingly walks their walk and isn't just talking about it, but is dedicated and committed to integrating these principles, to aligning with her highest, to coming from love, to holding those spaces for others. Truly a remarkable woman. You are in such amazing hands as she gathers up the show and carries it forward into this beautiful vision we all see together. And so today's episode is the magic of Amorikai. And please join me in welcoming this wonderful, beautiful light to the show, Amorikai. Welcome, my love.
Oh, Tonya, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm so joyed to be here. Thank you.
Well, we can feel that. And it's such a lovely sort of exchange. Like I would not even like, there's no bittersweet. It's like totally just sweet. It's like, it just opens into this beautiful space, and I can see you already painting it and redecorating and the swirls and all of it happening. And so the energy that you bring to the show is so brilliant. And I'm really excited for our audience, and let them know you a little bit better. We're going to start with asking you, a question about what are your superpowers, as is our tradition here. So what are yours? Let's share with the audience.
Oh, I love this question. Every episode I listen to, I never tire of that question and answer. I love it. So, like everybody, there's so many that are coming online all the time, but I feel my superpower is really holding a fierce container of love, like holding the space to allow in spirit, to allow that clear space for what wants to come through. And so just holding that container and being in the sort of divine realm with it.
I love the fierce. It's like we often want to keep, the feminine in this like really lovely, like flowy, light and airy and compassionate place. And the ferociousness that sometimes is required to hold these spaces is often left out of that conversation. And so I really appreciate that you brought that in, because when the world's like telling you to go a different direction, when it's flowing, the currents, the undertow, all of that is pulling at you. it does take real strength of conviction. A lot of times we use the radical concepts, something that we loved about Burning Man were some of the principles that they encourage their community to operate under. And we often take that here in the superpower world and we radicalize everything, because sometimes you have to kind of gear yourself up, right? Of like, okay, I'm armoring up, I'm going into the world. And it, certainly it changes at certain phases, but definitely when you're stepping into really big, expansive spaces, and lady, this is a big, expansive space. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. That fierceness, that masculine and feminine energy there. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think to be able to stand in that and hold that requires a mama bearness. My children have certainly helped inform that, my ability to hold that. I bow very deeply to them.
Beautiful. Well, and you do such a great job at that. Well, we're going to tease a little bit before we cut to the break. Amorica is not your given name. And so we don't want to say too much because we're going to have everyone come back after the break, because what's really important about these journeys, about walking on our path, about evolving who we are and developing ourselves and aligning further with the divine and finding that in ourselves and others is the willingness that we have to wield to be mutable, right? To be changeable, to be fluid in ourselves. And I love that you have that as part of your journey. And so we're going to discuss that when we come back from break. But for right now, folks, make sure you're joining up with the Superpower Universe. That's such a wonderful way. We have free options there, but if you want to, if you join up with the Plus, you get to interact with us. You get to connect with us on a monthly basis, at least. We like to throw out surprises. We always over deliver. And you get all of our book releases, which is huge, starting with the Science of Superpowers. And so really get into that community, superpowerexperts.com. We invite you over there. You join up and you're going to be able to find out all kinds of wonderful things about Amorica and the superpowers of the soul world. And you can also find all of that on superpowerexperts.com. So make sure you go check that out. We're going to cut to a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to find out what is exactly the magic of Amorica. I know you've already felt it. We're going to dive into that more deeply when we return. One moment.
Hello, I'm Tonya Dawn Rekla, Executive Director of Superpower Experts and creator of the Superpower Network. Welcome and thank you for making us your go-to place for inspired content, training, and community. The network is so much more than a place for amazing content. It's step one on the path to unlock your superpowers. Listen to one episode daily on the Superpower Network and attune yourself to inspired conversations, higher vibrational living, and much, much more. In step 2, you learn with us by watching one of our inspirational videos each week from the I Am series. And when you're ready, come grow in community. Our superpower programs offer a unique experience for those ready to harness their superpowers to change themselves, their lives, and ultimately, the world. Go to superpowerexperts.com and take the next step on your path today.
Awesome. We're back. You're listening to Superpowers of the Soul, and I'm Tonya, and I'm here today with Amorica. We're talking about the magic of Amorica, and I teased you a little bit before the break because Amorica is not your given name. And so, one, thank you so much for sharing this beautiful, brilliant light you have inside of you, and also for your willingness to share some of your journey into this bigness of you that I dare say is part of what's opening up these opportunities and these communities and all of the ways that you're seeing how you can contribute your brilliance. I'm wondering if you're making a direct connection back to your willingness to be fluid and allow yourself to be formed and shaped by spirit, to include how you refer to yourself. Would you say that that's a pretty clear, direct connect?
I would say crystal clear. Absolutely. Wow.
So what was that like? Well, how did that come about? Share a little bit of that story.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I would love to share because I know it's not really just my story, but as it happened for me, it's not my birth name. It's not my given name. And it came about really on, I won't even say on the heels. I would say smack dab right in the middle of one of those dark night of the soul 3-year periods.
Mm-hmm.
And so I I was really walking my path. I was really following that guidance. I was really dedicated to my journey, my family, how to show up in the world, all of that. And during that journey, everything turned upside down in my world. And it was a time that I think many of us can relate to, where it just feels like, is this rock bottom? And I don't know the way out from here. And in that journey, in the midst of that journey, I really surrendered even more strongly than I ever thought I had before. I really thought I had, but in that moment, I recognized I really hadn't to this degree. And when I did, I started being led. Those synchronicities started kicking back up. And in the midst of my external reality not reflecting anything that I thought, it should, that I would have preferred, that was needed or necessary, any of those things, I followed those signs. I followed those synchronicities, and I agreed to surrender. I actually, did an invocation of just surrendering to my highest calling, whatever it is. And the journey really led me through a series of synchronicities of events. Maybe we'll write a fantasy fiction about it one day, because it's one of those stories that so many of us have. Like, what? But in that journey, I did go through an incredible 4-day process where this name was given to me, spiritually, through the top of my head. I was given what the name meant, its meanings backwards and forwards, what it basically broke down into, which is essentially the energy of the name. And what the whole process was and is really reflective of my journey of the lower self surrendering into the higher self, or the ego personality surrendering into the divine. That whole walk of trading in my previous illusion of control for that true wholeness, that true experience of power, which is only ever experienced from within and in surrender. That's really what this experience was a reflection of for me, and a process and a journey of for me. And I tell you, it's taken me a good 2 years to really step fully into that name and into.
Well, that's pretty quick for a lot of people. I know people who, it's decades, right? Like, because of the developmental process, you really do synthesize things pretty rapidly. And you had a really strong foundation, I think, that gave you a jumping off point. So I know that 2 years can feel like a long time, but you've also been really clearly in the experience of it. And that's commendable we hear stories of far longer, right? And so it's, there's something to be said in that, I think.
Well, thank you so much. I understand that, agree with that. And I think it also needs to be said that I had a ridiculously exquisite container of support. And I bow so deeply to you and to the superpower experts and the team of, I have chills. My heart, there is no words to describe that container. And so I just thank you so deeply.
Well, thank you for that.
Are.
That's really great to hear. It's so cool to be able to see those reflections and those affirmations, because from our vantage point, we talk to people, thousands upon thousands of people who want to have an impact, who want to make a change. And the numbers I still continue to hear is about, 1% of the population is really in pursuit of that. And of that 1%, maybe 5% will actually do it. Now, I think the numbers are getting higher, mostly of the ones who want to. The ones that really step in, though, we're still on a pretty early precipice of people who are willing to live in accordance with divine design, who are willing to reshape themselves and the world around them to fit what they know in every cell of their bodies to be true. That's a pretty exclusive minority at this point in time. And so the fact that we can even sit here and talk about it, like we have a common vernacular, like we get it, oh yeah, you too. Yeah, me too. Like that's remarkable. And so, it's worthy of celebrating, I think, which is another one of the reasons why I'm so excited to have your voice in this. I mean, you've been through the trenches, like you're coming out the other side going, okay, I hear, let me shine a light back. Folks, you really are going to want to listen to this woman and just follow the sound of her voice, because she is so like in that, like she's so beautifully laid these like breadcrumbs and these lighted paths. Trust me when I say you're gonna be able to glean from her and the beautiful guests that she has on, and just this wonderful space that she's going to light up here in her own brilliant way, because of what she agreed to do in the paths that she chose to traverse. And of course, we were honored to be present for all of that, and to be able to bear witness to it, because ultimately that's a very personal choice that we all get to make. And we're happy to support and love people along the way. So you'll get to hear from her on that experience too. If you've been looking at our programs and wondering, what is that experience like? Amork is a great person to lean into for that also. So much yumminess, so much greatness, so much potential here with the show. I can't imagine putting it in any better hands. As we do this beautiful sort of transition, what would you like to say to the audience as you're starting to hold more and more of this container with them?
I would just like to say that I love you. I mean, I can feel you. The energy, the group soul, all of it that is here is so palpable. I have been in these spaces listening and being a part of this audience for quite a while now. And to be able to pour so much love and so much light into this space, I am so excited. You're going to have to feel me down from the rooftops. It is going to be fun. It is going to be just overflowing with love and with fun. And I'm so excited to get to know you all and be in this shared space together. What an incredible, incredible space to be. I can't wait.
Yay! I love us. We're great.
Me too.
All right. Well, folks, you can feel the love fest. We're so glad you're here with us, and we so appreciate your loyalty. Make sure you go to the Superpower Universe. That's where you're going to be able to connect in with all of us in these great conversations and really put into practice. But don't do it alone. It's so silly. Come into community with us and let us love and support you as you figure all of this out. We certainly have tools and resources, but that's one of the best ways to really dip your toe in. And the benefits, if you're a reader, we're going to make sure you get those book releases, starting with the science of superpowers. So go to superpowerexperts.com to learn more about all of that. And thank you so much for your continued loyalty. We do love you all. And until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Superpower Network. Go now to superpowerexperts.com to unlock your superpowers and change your life today.